Oh, fellas and ladies, the Oscars are about to announce the nominations, like, soon, so I guess I gotta guess those. I gotta do the predictions, because I have all the answers. This is the correct list. If you're going like, hey, I don't want to wait till Thursday, I want to know now, well, you're about to find out. This is probably gonna be long, so I'm just gonna go right in. For Best Picture, I think we all kind of know what the top 8 is at this rate. I got the BAFTA 5 here. Brutalist and Emilia Perez are probably duking out for the win. Maybe Anora and Conclave can, throw themselves in there. Possible contenders to win as well. And then a Complete Unknown is, for sure. Complete Unknown seems to be just riding a wave right now. Hey, I'm curious about how it's going to perform on Thursday, honestly. Dune Part 2 is definitely happening. The Substance, Wicked. I think Wicked might have its worst day. Possibly here, aside from BAFTA, obviously, but it's going to get picture, that's guaranteed. It's really the last 2 slots that are up for debate. The real contenders are, we know the top 4. We got Sing Sing, which only got Critics' Choice, but Coleman Domingo got everything. BAFTA gave it a real, a fucking shotgun, rejuvenation. Real Pain, which I believe got, everything it, realistically could have gotten. Aside from Critics' Choice, it got PGA, it got Globe. That's about it. And obviously, Kieran Culkin's on track to win. Nickel Boys, which only got Globe and Critics' Choice, and it hasn't really had a W since Critics' Choice. And then September 5, which has kept in that little fucking weasel of a movie. Keeps on popping his head back up just for a minute and then fucking off. Got Globe, got PGA. Could very well be enough. I think all of these have pretty weak hauls. Nickel Boys can actually have a solid haul with, I think if it got in, I think director would come with. We've seen movies like Nickel Boys miss PGA and they get the Oscar nomination anyway, but man, I just don't really have much evidence to, okay, here's the way I'm looking at it. We know Sing Sing is getting, on its absolute worst day, Coleman Domingo still gets in. A Real Pain's worst day still features a supporting actor win. Nickel Boys in September 5's worst day are goose eggs. I do not think Nickel Boys getting goose egg. September 5, it's on the table, but I find it unlikely at this moment. But there is realities where they don't get a single nomination. I have to acknowledge Sing Sing keeps on floundering. SAG was a pretty big blow, but man, BAFTA went out for it. They got the 3 it was supposed to get. I think that shows more strength, which is why I'm kind of fine saying it's number 9. Clearly it's being seen enough, at least. Although, again, why did it miss PGA? Why the guilds just didn't go for it, aside from Coleman Domingo? I mean, you want to talk about a movie that nobody sings, September 5 and Nickel Boys are both fucking failing at the box office right now, which is tragic for Nickel Boys, because y'all should go see it. I don't know, Nickel Boys really does feel like something the Oscars could save, but I'm, again, I don't want to predict it and then it gets goose-egged. That feels unright to me, so I feel like if I'm playing it purely on a safety way, I think the best way to go at it is Sing Sing and A Real Pain. The fact that Sing Sing and Real Pain are looking really solid for acting and screenplay, whereas Nickel Boys is looking good for screenplay, but not really anything else. That is telling. Nosferatu, I don't know. I don't really see the path for it, other than the fact that it is going to get a lot of texts. That's about it. It's really all that's left for this category. Director, all right. Brady Corbet, gonna win. Jacques Audier, gonna get nominated. Sean Baker, gonna get nominated. No one's questioning that. Everyone else has the 3 I have plus Coralie Farjat and Edward Berger. I don't really see how Coralie Farjat would miss it. She feels so geared towards what the Academy go for. I know it's a genre movie, but it's a very poppy fucking international film with international filmmaking. Not in it's in English, but it's still an international filmmaker. It makes so much sense. I gotta go with it. It's Edward Berger that I'm putting in, although it feels wrong to me. It just feels very stagnant. Absolutely the kind of direction that this branch would snub, but look, Denis Villeneuve, here's what I'll say. I have a little more optimism than a lot of you. A lot of you are just done, in the trash, never. I'm not as done with him. He does feel like the thing that Berger would get snubbed for. Him and Ramel Ross, but I can only go with Ramel Ross if Nickel Boys gets picture. If Nickel Boys gets picture, I think Ramel Ross would happen. He makes so much sense, but I can't in good faith do it right now. And then Denis Villeneuve, look, he seems like the cool thing that, they would snub Conclave for. Director Commission can be cool sometimes. I think that there is a shot that Denis Villeneuve skyrockets back in. I see it. A lot of people are just souring on Dune, going oh, it's gonna miss all these big things, but in reality, this is the only category it's floundered in. Payo Capadia, I don't know, maybe. All we imagine is just has not People keep on trying to make that movie bigger than it actually is, and I love it. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites of the year, but, like, there's no evidence that movie's anything more than, a goose egg, to be honest. Yeah, she got the Globe nom. It's not, like, impossible, but I find that unlikely. And then James Mangold, ain't no way, like, this branch going for that. No way. Actress, we all know Demi Moore is getting in. We all know Mikey Madison is getting in. We all know Demi Moore's winning, honestly. Carla Sofia Gascon, I mean, like, they're not going to deny her. Amelia Perez is going to have, like, an amazing day. People are going to have to cope with that. She's got this in the bag. And I should have Cynthia Erivo at 4, but I don't. I have her at 6. I just feel like when I saw that movie, I said, well, Grande's getting it for sure. I don't really see the Oscar performance Cynthia Erivo. She's kind of lacking in character. She does sing, and she does have, like, the moments. I get it. There's something there with Cynthia. She's gotten everything. She's telling me that. A lot of people are going, oh, she's not going to get in. She says she's Margot Robbie. I say that's not a good idea. I don't think that that's the reason why she misses. What happened to Margot Robbie is anomalistic in the grand scheme of things. But I think Cynthia Erivo could miss out to these, possibly more appealing things, Cynthia Erivo is still playing a green witch. Like, that's not, I don't know, it's not a little flaky to some? I think Marianne Jean-Baptiste is gonna happen. She got Critics' Choice, she got BAFTA. That's good enough for me. On top of that, she won the trifecta. Ever since I saw that movie, I thought to myself, oh, that's something they would nominate. She's huge, she's bombastic, she's massive, she's constantly, she has all these memorable moments with her, like, yelling at people. She just tracks. She's been nominated before. It's not like she's a nobody to them. And then I decided to go with Pamela Anderson for that last spot. She was like that thing that was just constantly, like, throwing quarters at me, just going like, hey, don't forget about me. She never left my head. And then Jamie Lee Curtis started to do well. She got that SAG nomination. She got that Globe nomination. I don't know. Pam Anderson, it makes sense. It's something that, it's a narrative that's obvious to get behind. It's an easy one to get behind. She just makes sense. I gotta do it. Fernanda Torres is possible. I don't know. She won Globe. That's really good. That's, like, a really, really good indicator. It's just, man, I was, like, really taking her seriously, and then, like, because I was like, oh, well, she's gonna get BAFTA, and then have the Globe nom. That's good enough. But then she didn't even get longlist for BAFTA. That felt like an arrow to the stomach. And then she won the Globe. So there's something there still. And clearly she's got the passion behind her, and I love it. She's amazing in this movie. But I don't know. I'm sensing, like, Pamela Anderson just makes a little more sense to me. Angelina Jolie, I still think is possible. I think some people are just completely dumping her, and I get why. She's flaked. But, it's the only biopic, like, celebrity biopic here. Maybe that's not enough, but it's something, I feel. She got Critics' Choice and Globes. That could be enough, but, Maria's, flaked. But, yeah, then again, that was exactly what Stewart got. But, she got BAFTA longlisted at least. Also, Fernanda Torres has done, like, really bad with critics. That just feels weird for the Oscars to go with her when the critics don't. That feels odd to me. Actor Brody's gonna win. People are getting scared of that. I don't know why. I think it's just gonna be a clean sweep. Maybe Timothy has a shot at SAG, but then Brody's gonna win BAFTA, so who cares? But then, yeah, Chalamet's gonna happen. Coma Domingo for Sing Sing. He, even on Sing Sing's worst day, he still got in. He's the critics leader, not even a question. Ray Fiennes is in. That top 4 is pretty safe. Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Coma Domingo, Ray Fiennes. Done. Like most people, I'm mostly digging it out between the last 2 slots. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice and Daniel Craig for Queer. Hugh Grant for Heretic feels like, hey, there's something there clearly. He got the three fucking precursors, everything but SAG. That's pretty impressive. So I'm definitely not counting him out. However, I feel pretty set in stone saying Daniel Craig or Sebastian Stan. It's really tough for me to say, because Daniel Craig got SAG. That's insane that happened. But then he missed BAFTA. That's insane. Sebastian Stan got Apprentice. I think that international people are really going for The Apprentice and Sebastian Stan. When I saw The Apprentice, I thought to myself, well, Sebastian Stan, that's like a nomination guaranteed. Are you joking? And then obviously Trump won. He's got inaugurated time of filming. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I feel like he's going to be, weirdly enough, the one that gets pushed in by the international, contingency of the Academy. But sometimes you just going to have to sit down and be like, all right, what makes more sense in your head? And whenever I picture Daniel Craig missing, it just feels really incorrect. And I can't really explain why, because Sebastian Stan makes more sense to get in, like, objectively. But man, there's something there with Craig that I just can't get rid of. So I think I'm just going to have to play safe and say Daniel Craig. But is he the safe bet? I feel like he is. I feel like most people are saying Daniel Craig, but also aware of the threat of Sebastian Stan. He also did have a great year, Sebastian Stan, with A Different Man, which I don't think is going to happen, but, I won't call it impossible. Supporting actress, Jesus fucking Christ. Let's just bump this out of the way. Zoe Saldana and Ariana Grande are definite locks. Like, just locks. Then you got, like, Monica Barbaro and Danielle Deadwyler, who, like, just on the outside looking in. I actually think Deadwyler, she's starting to come back to me in a way that's like, ooh, maybe twiddle my fingers together. But, that movie's just simply on dead, and Monica Barbaro, I just don't think she has to come along with any package for Complete Unknown. And she also only got SAG. That's not great. Let's talk about the real contenders. Jamie Lee Curtis, who got SAG and BAFTA. You got Selena Gomez, in the major player that is Emilia Perez. She got Golden Globe and BAFTA. We got Felicity Jones, a major part of a major contender in The Brutalist, who got only, surprisingly, Golden Globe and BAFTA. You got Margaret Qualley, who, a big part of The Substance. And yet all she's gotten is Globe and Critics' Choice, while also being, I think at this moment, the critics' leader. And then you got Isabella Rossellini, a very, very small part in Conclave, who got Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, and BAFTA. Everything but SAG. What do I do with all that information? So I'm going to start by saying, I feel like if I'm playing this purely smart, I would have Jamie Lee Curtis in. She has, the industry support locked and loaded. She's got that afterglow after her winning for Everything Ever All at Once. And I have Pamela Anderson in, so it makes sense for me to have Jamie Lee Curtis in. I just don't. I'm certainly not going to be surprised in the slightest if Jamie Lee Curtis gets in. I just don't. I feel like when I don't have her in, I feel like fine with that. The other ones, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to say Felicity Jones. I feel a little confident in that. There was an article recently that said a lot of voters are not watching all of The Brutalist, which would kind of make sense as to why she keeps missing, because she's only in the second half. But it's so hard for me to envision Felicity Jones missing. It's just so hard for me to envision it. Isabella Rossellini, man, I had my doubts, but she did what she had to do to overcome what her performance is. Her performance is very teeny tiny, but she's clearly got the hype for it. She's my favorite supporting performance in the movie, and she's got the precursor. She's got the support. All she missed was SAG. That's fine with me. She got everything but SAG is good enough in my books. So that last slot, man, I'm really dangling between Margaret Qualley and Selena Gomez more so than Jamie Lee Curtis. Every time I don't have Selena Gomez in, I feel incorrect. It just feels like that's gonna happen, and every time I question her, she just continues to show that she's a real threat in this category. And Emilia Perez is obviously going to have a killer day, but then again, you already have Zoe Saldana in this category. That maybe they can just be like, Emilia Perez love strictly can go straight to Zoe Saldana. There's not really there's a pretty big, distance between the love for Zoe and the love for Selena. That doesn't really stop her. I'm just saying that's, I don't think Emilia Perez's love is going to go directly to her. Then you got Margaret Qualley. It just, man, I think if I'm playing it smart between these two, I think Selena Gomez is more smart. But Margaret Qualley just keeps playing with my head. Critics leaders have missed before, like Lupita Nyong'o and Ethan Hawke. But when was the last time a critics leader for a best picture contender where the lead is winning wasn't nominated? Margaret Qualley I can't get the non-best the nomination out of my head for Margaret Qualley. It tracks too much for me to say that she actually is going to get snubbed. Although it very well could happen. It could just be simple. And I think the safe bet is what I have. Just replace Margaret Qualley with Jamie Lee Curtis. But I think Selena Gomez is really strong. I really think you guys need to stop underestimating how strong she is. But I am going to go Margaret Qualley. Ingenue Ellis, I see some people still playing with. And I gotta say, I'm not saying she's impossible. I see the path for her. But man, she was already on thin ice when Nickel Boys seemed safe. Now Nickel Boys itself isn't safe. Why on earth? No, I'm saying no to Ingenue Ellis. Supporting actor Kieran Culkin winning. Yura Borisov got everything. He's got it. He's done. Guy Pearce got everything but SAG. They're not gonna. He's got this. That's an easy nomination right there. Ed Norton got everything easy. That top four is solid. It's the last slot, which I think we're all battling between Clarence Macklin and Jeremy Strong. I know he did that SAG, but is Jeremy Strong really going to get in without Sebastian Stan? I mean, he got everything but Critics' Choice. That's enough. That's enough. That really is enough. But, for a movie that's not really that strong outside of its acting, I don't know. I don't have Jeremy Strong. I have Clarence Macklin. That feels fine with me. Clarence Macklin, again, is BAFTA going to go for them, but not the Oscars? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't track. Yeah, I think that Macklin feels more right than Jeremy Strong. There's something more there with Clarence to get in than Jeremy. I feel like the industry will be so stoked to give Jeremy Strong a nomination, but I don't know. Clarence Macklin just seems more appealing. And I'm saying him. I still think Denzel Washington has like a slim shot. A lot of people have disqualified him. I mean, yeah, all he got was Critics' Choice and Globe for a movie that's literally nothing, for an action movie that's literally nothing. But how do you survive that? By being Denzel Washington. But I can in good conscience put him above Macklin or Strong. Is there a dark scenario where they're stupid and say Stanley Tucci? Maybe, honestly. It's stupid, but like, it's a kind of toying with me. Original screenplay. Again, easy 4. We can move on after Honora, The Brutalist, The Substance, and A Real Pain. All locks. After that, I think there's only really 2 possibilities. People keep trying to make something else out of this category, but really, I think the last slot is simply between Challengers and September 5. There's like a little bit of a path for Hard Truths, but I don't see it. I was like ready to be like, it's Challengers. Guys, don't fucking, why are we overthinking this? It's obviously Challengers. BAFTA went with none of the alts except for Challengers and the long list. It's obviously Challengers. And then September 5, like the little weasel that it is, got that PGA nomination. Was that fucker? And, look, here's the thing. I still think Challengers has a path to get in. That's it. They've been cool. This category has the ability to be cool. September 5 isn't cool. Challengers is cool. I think that I'm going to just play it safe because I don't want to predict Challengers and then be wrong. I'd rather predict September 5 and then Challengers gets in. That'd be cooler. That'd be more happy. That would make me happier. I'll just say September 5. I do think Challengers might happen though. Seed of the Sacred Fig, no. Kneecap, no. Apprentice, no. All we match is like people like I don't get some of y'all's brains sometimes. So people were like, oh, Imagine It's Light, it's gonna get fucking BAFTA screenplay and then it's gonna overperform the Oscars. It doesn't do that. Everyone's like, well, worst person in the world, Miss Screenplay, therefore All We Imagine Is Light's gonna get in. Excuse me? First it was dependent on BAFTA, now it's good that it missed BAFTA. All We Imagine Is Light had a lot of opportunities to show itself as a player here, never did. Worst person in the world is a terrible fucking comparison. If anything's worst person in the world, it's Challengers. Adapted screenplay. Okay. Only 2 locks in my opinion. Conclave and Emilio Perez are happening. Guaranteed, no question about it. I think Sing Sing is going to happen. I feel pretty good about that. Honestly, to be frank, I feel good about this 5. Sing Sing feels pretty set for me. So is A Complete Unknown. That's going to happen. Like, it's weird, but like, it's just going to happen. Nickel Boys, there's like a part of me that's worried about it. Like, can see the Oscars being really stupid and just completely shutting Nickel Boys out. But I feel like this will happen. After that, it's like Dune and Wicked. I don't think Wicked's going to happen. I think that, like, people were saying, oh, Emilia Perez is going to miss because it's a musical. But Emilia Perez has, like, a bunch of original ideas. It's a pretty obviously ambitious movie. It always seemed clear, man, Emilia Perez was, like, pretty going to happen. And then Wicked's, like, I think that's going to miss in the same reason that something like Les Miserables or West Side Story missed, because it's, like, a Broadway play. It is pretty easy for someone to, like, watch a movie like Wicked and say, oh, they just did the Broadway play. That's the words from the play. And then there's Dune. I still think that could happen. Like, realistically, although, again, I feel like, Nickel Boys makes just a tad more sense. So I'll just go with Nickel Boys instead of Dune, but I won't be surprised if Dune gets in. Nothing else here is worth considering. International feature, Emilia Perez, winning. Not a question in my mind. It's locked. Done. Pretty secure that I'm Still Here is going to happen. There's, like, a dark part of my head that's wondering if the Sacred Fig can be, like, something like Decision to Leave and just randomly miss, but I'm not going to be the one to predict it. Kneecap's getting in, that's obvious. And then the last slot... there's a couple of options here. The Girl with the Needle seems like the prevailing option. I haven't seen it. I heard it's really bleak. I have seen Familio. It's very much a slow burn. Like, it's something the Oscars could go for, but I'm going to predict it doesn't. Just because, again, it's pretty slow. How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies. I haven't seen it. I'm going to try and catch it tonight. I hear it's a very fun movie, a very, like, heartwarming, like, a very easy movie to get behind. Ground Zero I've seen, and I think other than the, the format of the movie, I would say this would be definitely in. However, the format of the movie is basically, like, 2 short films from filmmakers who survived Gaza. It's a very, very fantastic movie. Very well could happen, but I feel like they're not going to go for something like that. Flow could happen. Flow is very, very much on the table. That's definitely, like, something that kind of, like, talking to me a little. Since it is probably winning animated feature, but I don't know. it doesn't need to get this as well to secure its strength, per se. Dahomey is a little interesting, but I feel like they're just not gonna do it. I'm gonna go with How to Make Millions. It just feels like the touching, heartwarming movie that gets in. It tracks. Maybe Go With the Needle, maybe Vermilio. I'm not counting those out. I've seen Universal Language. It should happen, but I'd be surprised. Documentary. Now, as we know, this category can be a little fucky. It can be a little insane. I think if you're trying to predict the insanity, you're going to be even more wrong. So my advice, just play it safe. Whatever you think safe is, just do that. And that would be, for me, Northernland, Daughters, Whale and Harper, Black Box Diaries. I think those 4 is like the consensus top 4. And then I feel the most secure with Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. Feels like something the branch would do. I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it, ironically, when the nominations are out. So maybe I'll be seeing it for no reason. Sugarcane, a lot of people have, and I definitely am not counting it out. That seems like, subject matter-wise, something they do. Yeah, Personal War. I've seen The Remarkable Life of a Bellin. I don't really know if they would do that. It is really good, but I don't know. A lot of the movie gets kind of lost in the World of Warcraft storyline thing, and it's really elevated by the really powerful beginning and end. BB Files would be ironic given what is at number 1, but they could do it. Animated feature, I'm just gonna make this quick. Maybe Moana 2 can disrupt it, but this is obvious. Flow, Wild Robot, Inside Out 2, Wallace and Gromit mentions Most Foul, Memoir of a Snail. Next, cinematography. Another one that I'm pretty set in stone with for what the 5 is. We got The Brutalist, gonna win. We got Dune. A lot of you, again, I think you guys are trying to predict these big snubs for Dune in the tech categories. I think you guys gotta stop doing that. What is the case for this to miss? I will take it out the second I hear a valid one that isn't just another sequel missed. Nosferatu has not missed a beat here. This is pretty set in stone. Conclave, I saw some people questioning, and every time I see it, I'm just it's not my favorite, but of course they're gonna do it. After that, Maria got ASC. That's all I need to know. Yes, 7 slots, that makes it dumb, but to me that makes it more easy to push away Wicked and A Complete Unknown than anything. Those don't really scream. I mean, I could see them kind of going for A Complete Unknown, but Maria's work is so undeniable that I have to do it. I have to. Nickel Boys is so tempting too, but my God, again, what's the evidence? Nickel Boys just floundered. There's an obvious narrative card to play with Nickel Boys since it's in first person. But man, the voters just seem to not be going for this movie. I do think it's possible still, though. I do think they could squeeze that in there still. Complete Unknown is maybe. It's scary, but maybe. Amelia Perez only got BAFTA, if my memory serves. They don't have to do it. They just don't have to. I'm not going to predict any Amelia Perez category where they don't have to. And this is definitely one of them. The Substance, I can see them. If they want to throw a party for that movie, they can do it. Wicked's not going to happen. Mark my word. I know it's done well in this category, but it's not going to happen. Editing. Dune. It looks like it might just win. You got Conclave, Amelia Perez. Those are just done, solid, easy, gonna happen. After that, editing can go a little wonky. It could just be what's the strongest. I think The Substance still has a winning shot since it is the most editing, but that BAFTA miss made me go, oh, well, never mind, I guess. For some reason, this movie isn't getting embraced in this category, which I don't know why. This is definitely the most editing of any movie this year. And then I'm gonna, look, Anora, I've noticed some stupid people saying the editing is bad. It's not. It's brilliant, but that could be a problem. It is edited by Sean Baker. I don't know if that's a pro or a con. I think it's just interesting fact. I'm going to say The Brutalist because I still think that people are going to be impressed. I think aside from The Substance, Challengers is the most editing. I could maybe see them throwing Challengers a bone in this category if they want to be cool. I have a lot of faith in the Oscars being cool. I should not do that. Complete Unknown hasn't really shown me a reason for me to predict it in editing. I don't think it's gotten anything. It's gotten nothing, I think. Number 5, I'm not going to predict that unless it gets picture nominated. That's the only reason I see it happens. Wicked's not getting editing. Sing Sing and Nickel Boys, if they really want to go out for either of those movies, they could do it, but I have my doubts. Production design, we got Wicked, probably going to win. We got Dune, lock. The Brutalist, a movie about architecture, locked. Nosferatu, I think that they're just gonna give Nosferatu everything it deserves. In the text. Admittedly, when I saw this movie, I thought they don't have to give a production design. Whereas costumes, I'll get to that, but they kind of have to. But again, Nosferatu, riding a wave. I think it's gonna happen. Pretty easily, actually. After that, I have Conclave, and quite frankly, I think this 5 looks good to me. The only thing stopping me for Conclave is that it is contemporary. That is an issue. I do think that it could be stopped for that reason. But, I remember the production design really well in that movie. So, Gladiator, they built the Coliseum and shit, but man, why did BAFTA not do it? Why did BAFTA of all people not do it? Gladiator, I think, is just gonna fucking flop here. It could get up to 4 in theory, but I think it might just get this. But it might get like one thing. I don't see it getting goose egg. That feels too wrong to me. I do see a small path for the substance even still. Same with Beetlejuice. But again, I gotta like think, what reason do I have to put these movies against other movies? And the only thing is that Conclave is contemporary, but so is Substance. Although the Substance is more genre-y, so that could be in its favor. Costumes, another W for Wicked. When I saw Nosferatu, even before I realized how big it was going to be, I was like, that's a costume nomination. The only reason they wouldn't do it is because of the genre. That hasn't stopped anyone. That's happening for sure. Nosferatu's worst day still includes this. Dune is going to happen to Miss BAFTA, but I still think it'll happen. Same with Gladiator. I don't think Gladiator's getting goose egged. I just don't. Even though I would love it. I feel like this is probably going to happen. It's very much like up the Branch's alley, although I wouldn't be that surprised if it missed. I did decide to go with the Complete Unknown. The costumes are pretty showy. They're pretty memorable. It tracks. Got that BAFTA nom. Did it get the Costume Guild? Yeah, okay. Well, it might have because of the way they split them. There is a possibility for Beetlejuice because, that's a very showy film when it comes to its costumes, obviously with the Tim Burton shit. That's never something to count out. Amelia Perez, again, if they really want to throw a party for this movie, they could give it costumes. I see it. It's possible. They could sprinkle that in there. Whereas I don't really see it for production design. Conclave got BAFTA, but I always felt that it would miss this category. Because, I don't know, to me the costumes are just, alright, close your eyes, nuns, fucking cardinals, popes. It's just like, yeah, that's what it is. Maybe they go for it out of love for the movie. It's possible. I'm saying no. Maybe Blitz. I'm going to say Furiosa because I want to. Because I want to say Furiosa, so I'm going to say Furiosa. Makeup and hair, one of the shortlist categories. Don't got to go too far into depth this one. Only one here that I think is just off the table is Maria. Everything else I think is like pretty tempting. The Substance, I think it's kind of become like an open secret that this is just gonna win. It's too much to not. A lot of people are saying Doom's gonna get snubbed. Again, I don't really see the purpose of trying to predict these Doom snubs in tech categories. I think that this is an easy one for Dune. Nosferatu, lock, like after what they did to Bill Skarsgård, yeah. Amelia Perez, a lot of you probably aren't predicting. I don't know, the thing they did to Carla Sofia Gascon when she was the fucking cartel leader is enough for me for such a strong movie. I think you're lying to yourself if you think this is missing. After that, you got A Different Man, which is like, the fucking disfigured Sebastian Stan, which I would go for if it wasn't so stacked. Now I'm like, well, it is only in like the first 20 minutes. You also got Sebastian Stan turning into Donald Trump, and also you got Jeremy Strong with the fucking zombie eyes and The Apprentice. So, I don't know. There's that possibility for sure. I do not have Wicked. I feel like it's something that only I don't have. But it's just like, really? She's green. That's the makeup. She's green. Waltzing with Brando feels like the elephant in the room. I was ready to talk about it like next year and be like, oh my god, they transformed fucking Billy Zane. Like, holy fuck, they transformed Billy Zane to Marlon Brando. Like, the pictures that came out are like insane. I didn't even realize it was this year though. I would not be surprised if this happened though. The only reason I'm not predicting it is because like, who the fuck saw it? I can't. I trying to like look into how to see it and I just can't. I am curious. The movie doesn't look very good, but like, hey, like, look at that prosthetic work. It is pretty impressive. I'm gonna go with Beetlejuice. It missed BAFTA, which is not great, but it's still like a lot of prosthetics. Probably the most outside of the Substance. Visual effects, you got Dune and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as the locks. Dune's gonna win. Better Man, aside from the fact that it bombed, that's a fucking VFX movie. Work on the monkey. It has all these like battle sequences and car chases and shit. Like, yeah. And like concerts. Yeah. Now, after that, I'm going to go with Alien Romulus. Again, it's something I can just picture too well. I can see them going for the nomination reel. Alien Romulus, and scene of Kaylee Spaney floating while shooting out the xenomorphs. It hasn't really picked up steam here. But then again, Wicked missed the fucking VES. I have wondered if Wicked can miss. That is what's been criticized, is the visuals. So it's definitely not off the table. But then again, I'm kind of considering all 10 of these. Gladiator, again, that movie's just so nothing. That also missed VES. That feels like more of a blow than Wicked. I can't explain why. I do want to consider Civil War. There's a lot of stuff, especially in that final act with like all the explosions and shit in like Washington. Something there for Civil War for sure. Deadpool and Wolverine, hey, they like the Marvel movies, although there's not a lot to this movie. There's not a lot of like obvious VFX, and it's not good VFX either. Twisters, I just remember watching and thinking no, and then Mufasa, Nightmare shit. Uncanny Valley, dark shit. Garbage. Awful. Terrible. But they could do it. It's talking animals. But then again, like, a majority of my fucking lineup, like, there are monkeys in 3 of my, predictions. There's, okay, well, Dune's gonna get in, but, like, there's a good scenario where 4 out of the 5 movies in this category have monkeys in it. I like my lineup, though. Alien, Romulus, and Wicked in the last 2 slots. That feels right to me. Unless they just snub Better Man for, like, something else, in which case I'd be pretty upset. Sound, Joker's not gonna get in. Wouldn't that be funny? Dune's gonna get in, probably gonna win. Wicked's got it. Complete Unknown is probably got it, although it did miss BAFTA, which was weird. Although that might not be enough. Amelia Perez has done weirdly bad in this category. Like, a lot of places where it missed. I think it only really I got nothing. I can't think of anything it got. But I still feel obligated to predict it. The musical with the gunfights and the car chases. Like, come on. That isn't Better Man. I think that the last slot is either Blitz, Romulus, or Gladiator. Gladiator and Alien are like the action films. They did go with Creator and Mission Impossible last year if no one did. So that bodes well for Romulus and Gladiator. And Gladiator did get sound, mentions. So, that's not nothing. And the work on Alien is insane. But motherfucker, there's a war movie there, and that's never a good sign. I don't want to do it, but I can't get this visual in my head of, like, the fact that Blitz is, like, the big war movie. I think that movie's terrible, and the sound work is really bad. But, man, it's the war movie. They like that shit. They like that trash. I gotta go with Blitz. It just makes sense. We're looking out for Alien, Romulus, and Gladiator, though. Deadpool and Wolverine's done well in this category, but nope. Just no. Score. This category has got 20 shortlisted films. Realistically, we can just cut right to 12, maybe 13 of them. I watched Young Woman in the Sea this morning, and I thought the score was really powerful, so I'm just going to mention it just because. We got The Brutalist, Locke, Conclave, Amelia Perez are going to happen. Challengers, I think that's pretty solidly in there. Arguably the score, like the most buzzed about score of the year, won the Globe, not much else to say. It seems pretty solid. The last 2 years we've had, scores get every precursor and then, miss. And coincidentally, they were both animated. I'm talking about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. My statement has always been simple. What's special about the Wild Robot that it's going to do what a game changer like Spider-Verse couldn't, and like a tour-driven like masterwork like Pinocchio couldn't? I am on the lookout for a Wild Robot snub. It's not like I don't think that we're never going to get an animated movie in this category again, but it's not looking ideal. I would be predicting it, I just don't really know what the alt is, aside from maybe Nosferatu. But I don't know, that's looking like... I don't want to predict the Wild Robot gets snubbed and then it gets in. I don't want to be embarrassed like that. Although I do think Nosferatu has a shot. I think Sing Sing, there's a slight chance. I don't think they're going to do Wicked. No, honestly, this category is so weak. Why was this the one with 20? Blitz, Hans Zimmer, you never want to fully count it out. You got Alien, Romulus, I can like kind of see them doing it. Like I can it's like a part of my brain. It's like, it's like a score. All right, they're going to say The Brutalist, and then it goes Alien, Romulus. I see it. It makes sense. Room Next Door, people are going to say, Parallel Mothers did it. Fuck you. That's what I say. Like, no, I say no. Song, okay, another tricky one. You got Me, Camino, and El Mal for Amelia Perez. Those are definitely in. And then you got the Diane Warren slot. I'm going to say that the journey happens. I'm going to predict Diane Warren until I can't anymore. I feel like one of these days we're going to go like, oh yeah, that's happening. And then boom, she misses. It's going to happen one day. I know it. Don't want to be the one to, not predict her. I'd rather be right than wrong. And then I am going in circles here because I think the easy answers are Kiss the Sky and Compress Repress. I listened to Compress Repress again. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. And then Kiss the Sky is like fucking Radio Disney horseshit garbage fucking bullcrap you hear a fake pop star sing. I think that they're going to go for a song like a Bird from Sing Sing. I feel like we're only dismissing because it's the movie. But why? It's a really catchy, very obvious song to go for. And then we got that Will and Harper song they could do. I could definitely see them doing it. It would be a really nice, easy song to go with. But then you got Elton John in there. Never Too Late is like classic Elton. And I'm just like, oh, Elton's getting a nom? That makes sense, right? So I went with Never Too Late. Then there's the alts. I would say Tell Me It's You from Mufasa. Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Something there. Winter's Coat from Blitz is forgettable as shit, but... maybe they're stupid and dumb and go with it. A lot of you might be tempted to say Sick in the Head. I would be surprised if they went with that song. Great song, but I'd be shocked. And then the shorts, I'll be quick. I did a lot of research for these. Not a lot, I'm lying. I did some. Documentary short, you kind of want to stick with, obviously likability, of course, but then there's also a sense of, subject matters in this case. Once Upon a Time in Ukraine kind of checks all the boxes to me. I haven't seen any of these. I usually wait till the nominations because TIFF hosts all the nominations. You can watch it at the Lightbox, so I wait. But you got Once Upon a Time in Ukraine, which I heard is really good. Seems very sweet. Incident, I think, is probably the most acclaimed movie here, so I gotta go with that. Death by Numbers seems pretty effective. Same with I Am Ready, Warden. And then you got Michaela's Voice, which looks like a very sweet movie to watch. After that, a lot of people only grow in the orchestra. I kind of took it out of, the other 5 seem more likely to me. Swim Lessons, directed by Rashida Jones, so I want to keep that in the back of our head. A lot of these, have something there, but I think the top 5 I have seem the most correct in terms of acclaim and, something like Planet Walker seems like there's something there with its plotting, but then the reviews aren't great. Animated short, I think Me looks pretty likely. It's like a musical thing, directed, written, produced by Don Hertzfeldt. I think he animated it too. Might be wrong about that. A lot of these are just acclaimed movies. A Crab in the Pool, everyone loved. In the Child of Cypress, Wonder the Wanderer, Bear Named Wojciech, Beautiful Man. A lot of these are really, really well received. You don't really gotta focus on subject matter when it comes to animated shorts, I've noticed. It could help, but it's not important. Got a lot of movies like Yuck, which just looks cute. That could be enough. I also really want to know about the Wild Tempered Clavier. I might watch that anyway because it just seems interesting to me. Again, I'm just going with the ones that seem the most intriguing. Beautiful Men is the one on the outs that I'm I feel like I should be predicting that just based on what it's about and the vibe of it, what it seems to be. And a lot of people like it a lot. And then live action short. Honestly, it might just come down to subject and acclaim again. A little less so than documentary short, but it's still a factor here. The Masterpiece seems very compelling, but Alien and Anuja, they have the subject matters. That's makes you go, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, I heard it's great. Orange from Jaffa looks great. And then Dovecote, Zoe Saldana. Usually when you have a celebrity in your movie, you're going to want to predict it, and that's your one. I haven't heard it's amazing, but it's there. I'm Not a Robot seems very interesting. Crust seems very interesting. The Ice Cream Man could be something to go with. And then I heard Edge of Space is garbage, so that'd be funny. That is that. I've been filming for an hour. Son of a bitch. Oscar nominations are fucking fast approaching. A whole year of considering coming down to this couple days. Like, subscribe, and share, and watch me freak the flippin' fuck out. Bye-bye.